Welcome to Arcing Sons. It is January 1st, 2018.
Or in Australia, January 2nd, or other parts of the world. Not to say America is behind, but
We truly are.
Yeah. Well, my name's Sharon, and we have some new people with us today. It's great to have you. So let me explain a little. We are an Ascension group, and we aim to support beginners. So we like to make sure that we keep everyone with us in the encounter. If anyone's feels like they're behind, let us know. We can help you out. Any questions along the way, feel free to ask. But generally, we just try and stay in the present moment with the Lord and see what He wants to show us. Usually, as facilitators, Kathy and Michelle and I will have gone in beforehand, but being New Year, we haven't. So I will lead us in, and we'll leave it entirely up to the Lord and His leading. And I'm sure it's going to be a really blessed time. So let's step in together. I like to walk us through something of a protocol, but I also will speak as I feel led. So let's bless our spirit, call our spirits forward to the forefront. We bring our soul and our mind and our bodies in right alignment under our spirit. Bless our spirit to lead us. Bless our spirit in connection and right alignment with God's Holy Spirit. And we step into Jesus. You can hear in the background, that's my son, my 16-year-old son, gaming online with friends. I don't know if you can hear. And we step into you, Jesus, and we thank you for your warm welcome. We greet you, Father, and we step in through Jesus to the Father, into His presence. We know we step in only by Jesus' blood, through the doorway He has opened, through dying and rising with Him. And I seal off any ungodly access points, any ungodly realms or timelines, portals. And we thank you, Father, for your protection over us, over this call and where we are, all each of us individually. As we step in, I'd like us to get a sense, you might like to try and get a sense of us together, to see our spirits where they are together, to get a sense of Jesus and anything He's showing you. You're welcome to share. All types of discerning sensing are valid, whether you're seeing, hearing, feeling, or just knowing. You're welcome to share. But let's intentionally come together and join hands in the Spirit. I sense some rejoicing and partying. It's very lighthearted. I sense some excitement, good excitement to be here. It feels like fresh hope, something feels fresh, like fresh growth, fresh hope. And you're welcome to share anytime what you're seeing, sensing.
So grateful to be here.
Jackie, I don't know if you're trying to say something, but we can't hear you.
I'm here. I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
Yes, I can. Just thought maybe your microphone was not working or something.
Yeah, it took me a while to work it all out. I'm all good now.
Cool. I'm sure if you're getting any leading for us, but I'm reminded that about the principle of desire and that our desire is valid and the Lord enjoys our desire. And so if anyone has a particular desire to go anywhere in the heavenly realms, see anything or do anything, let us know. The Lord might stir up a particular desire. Because sometimes we think, oh, we'll just see what he does, what he wants, how he leads. He also works with and through our desire. Thank you, Jesus. We declare you are good. Heavenly Father, you are majestic, glorious. Let's acknowledge any angels with us, any cloud of witnesses, any heavenly creatures.
And this is interesting because I didn't really sense it was my desire, but I felt like it might have been somebody else's that I heard, but I just heard someone wanting to see the throne room.
Mm.
No way, that was on my heart.
Ah, cool.
Yep.
Well, are we there or do we need to step in?
Well, let's go.
Let's go.
Experience that.
Escorts, let me know if you see. Is there a doorway to enter? Do we have angel escorts? Or we just step right in? You might find we're already there. Part of our spirit already there. Thank you, Father. We come boldly before your throne. But Jesus the Lamb is in the midst of the throne.
I'm sensing the four faces.
I always love to get a sense of the angel choirs. A sense of the angelic choir. Well, if we'd all like to share where we get a sense of where we are, sometimes approaching the throne room, I think when I started, I got stuck at the door and felt the struggle to enter years ago, but then I was willing to be at the back of the room, if it's a room of any kind. But we see it as a room. I was wanting to be at the back. And then I was happy to be front row, because we can all be front row. And I was happy to join Abba Father on the throne.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I could only picture myself maybe 3 or 4 meters, say 8 to 10 feet away from the throne.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Father sitting on the throne.
And I would say wherever you find yourself, there's something there to learn, there's something there to receive. Because there's truth at every point. Every point as we approach the throne, there's truth at every stage. And there's truth at every stage. And even if we're struggling to look and see, that's okay. It's okay just to be there. It's okay just to be here with us. If you're struggling to look, it's your inner eyes. And as we mentioned before the recording started, how valuable our imagination is, and having understanding of that, the Lord uses and works with our imagination. And so it's entirely valid to work with imagery here, because the throne of God is something so purely spiritual. How do we begin to form a concept of it? That's where our imagination is so helpful.
So for me personally, I feel a sense of awe and wonder, and I think that's why I'm in the position I'm standing. It's like, you know, when you walk into a room and you're taken back by everything, and you just stand there and you observe.
Yeah.
I have been invited to sit at the right hand of the Father as Jesus is the head and we are the body. We've been invited to sit at the right hand of the Father as we are the body and Jesus is the head, and our inherited seat.
Yes, and amen. It's true.
I know I'm broken. I'm so humble that to even be asked that.
I'm really sensing that he wants us to see things through the faces, like the eagle's perspective, the lion's perspective, the ox's perspective, and then the man, um, and to take on those identities.
That's cool. Do you think we do one at a time, or maybe we feel drawn to one in particular?
Well, I was experiencing one at a time. The first one that I was looking through the eyes of was the eagle, and the perspective from that viewpoint, which was very wonderful, and like just really can see things very clearly. So imagine if you were an eagle, and how an eagle sees things from a distance if you're flying above. I mean, they're such powerful animals. Birds. And how they kill their prey, and my goodness. And which one is the eagle? Is it the prophetic, or
I think so.
does everybody have some understanding of the four faces that surrounds the throne from any of the teachings, like Mike Parsons' teachings and Ian's teachings? Or is it something that you've never heard before?
I've heard a little from Ian, but I don't have a very, very big understanding, if I'm being honest.
So they're in Ezekiel as well as in Revelations, and 4 living creatures: eagle, lion, ox, and man. Is that right? Face of a man. And the eagle is flying. I tend to think of them all being still, but describes the eagle in flight.
I think it's lion, ox, eagle, man. Not that it really matters, but I know that like when you're facing certain directions, like you start to the east, which is the lion, something like that, and then south is the ox, west, eagle, and then north, man. Is that like, how do you even describe what I'm even saying? Can someone help me?
Yeah, 4
Like the yod hey vav hey type thing?
Yes, when you start on facing the east, yo, then you turn to the right again, and then they, and then you turn again to the right, and you're going to the from the north, from the east to the south, to the west, to the north.
Yes, it was just like, yeah, exactly. And what would you say the purpose of that would be?
It's those words, Yahweh, Yahweh.
Yod hey vav hey.
Say it again.
Yod hey vav hey.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, because I've if anybody's listened to Dr. O, he does a lot of that.
Yes.
It's kind of another way to enter in, I guess.
Yes.
And then the Shin, which is Jesus, and the Yod Hey Shin Vav Hey has Jesus at the center.
Yes. When we were looking through the eagle eyes, I was seeing total overcomers, overcoming, 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 victorious, overcoming.
Yeah, and kind of like a all-knowing type, like
Yes.
yeah, like you can see things from a different perspective. That's what I was seeing. It was almost like you just had this great ability of discernment. Yeah.
I felt as I looked through the eagle's eyes, it was it's like you had supersonic vision and you could see every detail even though you were up high.
Yeah, it was like laser eyes
Yeah,
and laser accuracy.
yeah, that's right. And it was like if you needed to go down to there, it was the eagle could go fast and do whatever needed to be done in that spot because it was like obviously a bird's eye view.
Well,
Anybody
Max and
else?
Ian, yeah, would you like to
getting some revelation on it.
I am, as we're in that place. We're just so grateful to be in that place. And we're able to look out of each one of the east, south, west, north, each of their eyes. As a body, he gives us overcoming strength. What I'm getting is that as we take our inherited seat on his right side, as Jesus is the head, we are the body. We're to walk in that in the earth, overcoming. That's our inherited position. As the head speaks, the body moves in accordance, in total obedience, in oneness, synchronized unity as we come to the earth.
Right now, Linda, we're looking through the eyes of the eagle as we're seated at the right hand of the Father in our inherited position.
Thank you.
A picture I like about the eagle is as they soar in the clouds, they just catch the heat coming off the earth, and then they just soar higher and higher. And as we're participating in looking through, like being like an eagle, we can soar higher and higher in the heavens.
Yeah, it's good. It's effortless too. That sense of effortless ease and rest.
There's so much peace. And just like that's where we belong. That's our place to be.
And I just sense when they go and grab a snake and they fly up real high and then just drop it to its death. I mean, it's just so automatic and so easy for them to kill their prey or their enemy. And that's how we need to look at our enemy, that in the spirit realm, It's as easy as that.
Well, I was enjoying engaging the lion nature, and the lion represents the king of the wild beasts, ox representing domesticated animals, the king, as so to speak, of the domesticated animals, the lion being the top of the wild animals, and the eagle being the top of the creatures of the air.
Yeah, let's look through the lion's eyes. Yeah, definitely no fear there.
Sensing great strength.
So much strength. My goodness.
When I look into his eyes, I definitely get a fear of the Lord and the strength that he has and weakness that I have.
That's why it's so wonderful knowing that he is our strength. And it's that kind of strength. Mm-hmm.
I just thought I'd check in with Mary Lynn. There's no pressure at all to share, Mary Lynn, but we just like to make sure everybody's okay and able to benefit from the encounter. Just thought I'd see if you have any questions or if you're doing okay.
I feel the lion walks with a real confidence, knowing he's at the top of the food chain. But it's not like it's sort of this confidence and calmness, knowing you don't have to be alert all the time and watching your back.
Yeah, it's just the confidence of knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Having no inhibitions at all.
Yeah.
None.
There's a freedom in that too.
Should we look into the eye through the eyes of the ox? Because it's a little bit of a different experience with that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I just was getting a sense of our spirits kind of dancing. I think I had another word for it, dancing, or even parading around the throne room, just enjoying absorbing this into our spirits. We're taking on these likenesses in my spirit. Even enjoying, prowling like a lion, flying like an eagle. So be assured and know that our spirits are taking this in.
That's exactly what I was getting.
Oh, good. It's always nice to get confirmation. So yeah, the ox next. Wow, he's strong and hardworking.
He's very strong,
Mm.
determined, strong.
Yeah, determined. I saw the head down, like determined to work through.
Yeah, and definitely like a plumb line kind of thing. Kind of like the path is straight,
Yeah.
And then I also see it kind of like as a fathering type figure, where if someone is yoked to the ox, like a young ox, how he just brings them along, shows them the way.
Is that also a picture of Jesus with us? It just came to mind about being yoked with him.
Yeah, I just got the visual of when Peter was sinking in the water, and he just kind of lifted his, pulled him up to rescue him. That he's always there.
I'm getting a sense of those obstacles and cables and those hindrances in our lives. He's just pushing them out the way, just kindly bumping into them, and they're demolished.
I like that.
I felt the ox wasn't in a hurry. Like he moves at his pace, and everything behind that he takes with him comes according to that pace, and he sets the pace the whole time.
Yep. That's good. And I don't see him like a bull in a china closet either, because he's gentle at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. But those hindrances and obstacles and those things that have been in our way, he's easily moving those out the way for us to be free, overturning the tables without even trying to, just removing those things that have blocked us.
And that gives us great confidence knowing that he's doing that for us.
Yes, indeed.
I was reminded of the verse in Psalm 119, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So I see this connection between the ox and the word.
Yeah, I feel that. It feels like it's a really solid labor, like plowing the way, like forming a path for people
Mm-hmm.
via the ministry of the word, and like laying a foundation, like even heavy work of laying foundation stones, floor stones,
Yeah.
heavy, solid, old-fashioned paving stones like they would have had in the temple.
I just sense so much that these characteristics are being placed in our spirit, setting our face like a flint and uh, being uh, sure footed and all these things I feel like is being placed in our spirit to infuse us with the character of God. So when we can come back, we can walk in a stable, more powerful uh, sure-footedness, not confidence, but of love and those characteristics of strength, inner strength.
So is the man also considered the priest?
I think you're right. I thought I had that
Yeah.
written down in the notes, but I couldn't find where I've written it. But I think,
But yeah, I think that'll be interesting to look through the eyes of the priest, because that'll give us a whole nother characteristic to be infused into our spirits.
what's the living creature with face of a man, wings and covered with eyes? And I've gotten a sense we were joining with with all four of them. I got a sense of us joining them and them joining us in a circle, and of us joining in their worship. There's something really powerful about joining in with them, joining what they're doing. You know, one thing they do is worship. The first thing I got a sense of is the priestly burden. Do we know all the burdens we carry with Jesus are light? His burdens are light. Feel it's still a priestly burden that we carry.
Yeah, this I'm sensing the compassion and the love um, for the people.
I
I'm
have a
gonna.
real sense of
Oh, yeah, you go.
like, oh, sorry, go on.
No, you go, Jackie.
I have a real sense of like an agility. It's like a graceful but fast movement through the man.
Or was it a graceful but fast?
Like a movement, agility. It's
Mm.
like just able to like very different to the ox that was slow and sort of plowing the ground. The man's able to move swiftly and wherever it is that we need to go.
Yeah, I was sensing movement too. I was just about to say I feel powerful, fast movement being drawn
Yeah,
outwards and even into the Holy of Holies, like right into the Lord's presence. Like it's very close and intimate presence is that. Like priest was allowed into the Holy of Holies, really intimate presence with the Lord. And that's it. Intimacy for the task, for the priestly task. Which I see something of being a go-between between God and other people. Not that we need a go-between, but that we can be.
Almost like an intercessor, kind of.
That's the word I kept getting over and over again, Kathy. It's like there's a similarity of how I've seen him and the other faces. Like I've seen their perspective through like a eternal perspective and light flooding out of them in different ways, like glory and completion and just like what needs to be judged and what needs to be released. But with Yeshua, I can just perceive like completed intercession, like a constant, effortless, from a place of rest intercession, that everything is done through an eternal, completed, intercessive state. Everything is seen, everyone's seen that way. And so there's like a peace and a rest and just the outlook, that completion, that grace, and that outlook of everyone coming, to where they need to be.
Yeah, of knowing. It's like that alpha and omega. It's like the omega part,
Yes. Yeah. I was getting that big time.
I get this picture of the whole throne room being filled with the fragrances, the incense of the prayers of the saints. I can smell the incense and feel the atmosphere just fill up with these intercessory prayers as you two were talking about.
Nice. I love the fragrances in heaven. We should just all breathe that in, the incense, the fragrances.
I don't know if it's just because I'm hungry, but I was thinking of food. Maybe there's food to eat too. It's just lunchtime in Australia.
I was just getting like some of the diffused oil smells that you get, like with frankincense, and how it just has such a calming effect and well-being. There's so much to be said for fragrances.
Yeah.
And that's what's so exciting for us. We don't even have to have a diffuser. We could just go quick into the throne room and start breathing in the spirit. And then it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I missed a bit of what was said because I just was messaging Jen the Zoom ID that it's like Jen could join us, and she just has. But I was wondering whether fragrances, was it somehow carrying the nature of all four faces? Was that mixed in with the fragrances? And welcome, Jen. We've been looking through each of the four faces, the four living creatures, and getting a sense, engaging their nature, seeing what they see, seeing in their eyes.
In the throne room. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, so we did the ox, the lion, ox, eagle, man. We're kind of on the last part of the man. And then we also sensed the fragrances in the throne room. And I felt, Sharon, that was because when Carmen was talking about the infusion of the different characteristics of the four faces, it's kind of like the same infusion sensation with the fragrances.
Yeah. Yep. Taking it in.
I feel that it's very significant that it's the beginning of the year, that these infusions of not only his character, his strength, his power, his fragrance, never to mention the four faces, um, has a longevity effect for throughout the years. That I think is very significant that we began at the beginning of the year, that this is, how can I say it, like an infusion that will last a very long time and filling us like an ever ready battery, just keep on going in our beings, in every dimension.
Yes, I agree. I felt it was shaping us for this year. Something that we would carry into the year. I also been getting a sense of angels assisting, angels helping infuse this into us or weave it into our spirits, and also angels lifting us up.
Yes, I saw the angels, yes.
Mm. Yeah, I especially feel their ministry for giving us wings. And I don't know if this is more specifically for me or for all of us. Perhaps there's different aspects of our spirits that are being worked on, but I sense angels working on spiritual wings to fly higher, fly further, and fly stronger. And also the ministry of the lion heart, to be lion hearted. Ministry on my heart for that.
I also feel that there's many obstacles that are being removed through this too, that we weren't even aware of or aware of, and those things are being removed.
That's really good.
Wow, thank you, Jesus.
twice today, and I can't like get it out of my mind, which is why I was going to say it. I saw the number one, so it was 11:11 when I looked at the clock, and just before it was 1:11. So it might be that God's highlighting a sense of unity or oneness as well.
Yeah, that's good. And I don't know if it's part of it, but I do know that the number one is the ox in Hebrew, the number one being Aleph, the symbol of the ox, also meaning first and ox. And also leadership or headship is also represented by one, and strength. Does any of that resonate?
Yeah, all of it for me.
Mm. I've also been seeing 11:11 too lately. 1:11. I feel like it's a word that also, like we were saying, preparing us for the year, but also about pioneers, that this is still a season of the pioneers. And all of us here are a part of the pioneers.
Would that be the same thing as a forerunner?
Yes, that's the word I'm hearing, yes.
Which is like the role of the ox to kind of push through the obstacles and prepare the way for the coming year.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like that tied in. And also what you said, Max, about Psalm 118, his word preparing the way, about forging a way, a pathway, and laying foundations. And there's not only his written word, but his now word. And just sparked in my spirit, maybe there's a word from the throne room, a fresh word. Well, this is probably it. But maybe there's more. The Lord would speak to us today.
I just earlier finished reading a word from Lana Forster, and it went, most of it was about how in 2018 there'll be a love for the word, and it was all about the word again.
Mm. Because we know it's alive, living and active, the living letters in Jesus, the Word Himself. I know the Father wants the Bible to come alive for people, even more so, more than ever. and for more people than ever before. So I know that because I'm studying at Bible college, and so being one foot in the academic world and the rest of me is engaging the spiritual, then I know that the academics just have such a wrong perspective on it, and that they look to the Bible to prove something. And I have to write an essay actually this week, so using, when we attempt to use the Bible to prove something, but the Bible is not written for proof, it's written as an invitation into the more. That every verse is a window or a doorway. But we typically aim to take an hour and a half from when we start the recording to keep the meeting to about that, which gives us some more time. I'm wondering if there's anything more in the throne room for us. I was just getting a sense of the fragrance leading us higher, fragrance lifting us up. So perhaps the Lord would take us higher, or perhaps there's more in the throne room. Or perhaps it's not only higher but deeper, closer to the Father and deeper into Him.
I wanted to submit and see if anybody is sensing. Since I came later, I was sensing Ionox Eagle Man, and kind of they're in at the four corner, but I was sensing movement as a like circular around, and for some reason I was seeing their wings touch. All four was touching to like contain His glory, and also I was kind of seeing their hands were kind of gathering towards the center of the throne, and maybe I don't know. I wanted to venture to say that was like focusing to worship Him. So that'll be like there will be for this year more singular eyes, more focusing, just like somebody said about 1, 11, 11, 11, 1, and becoming like one. I was kind of seeing the four being gathering their focus in the very center of the throne, and just kind of drawn to Him. So that will be our focus too, that we will draw closer to Him, and having a single eye to focus to see Him, and have intimacy because the wing closed. It feels like, you know, that the wing surrounded in the sacred place of Most High. So I was sensing the enclosed space where we would go, like, you know, Sharon, you said, go deeper and go higher
Yeah.
into him, intimacy, into see his face, intimacy, into him, to see him for who he is.
Yes, yes, that's glorious. And it probably was before you joined the call, because I did share, I had a sense of us joining with them with the sense of holiness and perhaps for worship. Yeah. But you've painted a much greater picture. That's cool. I was taking notes and drew a little sketch. Yeah. I feel like having gone through each of the four of them, that's how come now we're ready for coming in the midst of them and coming into that enclosed and secret place of the Most High. Yeah, I feel much more able to join in their worship and adoration. I just got a clear sense that worship is joyous. Just had a mental shift from, oh, worship is serious business to, no, worship can be joyous. Joyous and free and just loving and glorious. Awesome and majestic, yes, definitely. Not only serious.
I think this is a really good place to stop the recording.
Yeah, unless anyone's got anything to share that they're seeing, or how would you describe it? It's hard to grasp a sense of joining in worship. Does anyone have wording just to add before we do stop the recording?
I would just add that we're not worshiping alone, but we are worshiping with a host of angels and a host of saints as well. So I can see people that I know worshiping.
Nice. Yeah, and I sense the worship rising up from deep within our beings, like from our very core, from our belly. Worship originates there, rises up, comes out.
Unity is going to be so important going into the this year.
Yeah, so good.
Yes, I agree with that. Genuine love.
Anyone else with words to add? Well, share. I just had image. It seems so simplistic and so perhaps irreverent, but it just felt a bit like being around a campfire, but it would be the most glorious, majestic campfire of all, and not just the light of a fire, but the full light of God, which is overwhelming and full of the rainbow spectrum of colors. The most amazing campfire to gather around. So perhaps it's like the goodness of gathering around a campfire with good friends and having toasted marshmallows, but times a million.
I just find it so hard in the human language to explain the awe that you feel being in God's presence.
Yeah.
And I was wondering about the wheels within the wheels, since we see the four cherub, and usually the picture of drawing of wheels within the wheels have a kind of schematic of looking like um, gyroscope, but I didn't see the fixed point, and it's like a spark, rising up from the bonfire. I shouldn't say bonfire, but the anyway, fire. It this the light being uh even though within the wheels and wheels were just floating freely. It's the first time I've seen it. Like it's not fixed and it's free flowing and like a spark. The lights shining from the wheels within the wheels. It looks really glorious and beautiful.
Yeah, that's good. I can get a sense of that. Linda says goodbye, everyone. She just left. Linda had to go. Well, that must be about time, Kathy.
Okay.